What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for AEW Review for December the 9th, 2020. This is the follow-up to Winter is Coming, where we had the AEW Screwjob, where Kenny Omega became the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, turned heel, aligned himself with Don Callis, and was off Impact Wrestling for one night. That was a waste of time last night, and tonight was a waste of time for us again. This was not a good show. At all. You had TH2 versus the Young Bucks. Great match. Great opening match. Sting, we hear from him for the first time in AEW. Pretty decent promo. You had the Inner Circle Ultimatum, which was, okay, pretty decent as well. Everything else on this show was terrible. Brandy throwing water in Shaq's face in a pre-taped segment. Why does anybody continue to allow Brandy Rose to even speak? We hear about nepotism in WWE all the time with the McMahon family. Well, AEW has their own nepotism because Brandy Rose is on TV still. I don't give a fuck if you're married to Cody or not. You don't belong on fucking TV. You never have and you never fucking will. You were a decent, at best, ring announcer in WWE. You were not a good fucking professional wrestler. You were not good on the fucking mic. Stay back, be the chief brand officer, and stop taking up TV time for other talent. Plain and simple. So, the show started off with TH2 versus the Young Bucks, non-title match. If the Young Bucks were to lose to the Hybrid 2, then they would, of course, grant them a tag team title match. This isn't like WWE where you have Lana and Asuka win two non-title matches back-to-back to then earn a title shot at the TLC. This is one of those, you win the match, you're good, we're going to go up against you at the pay-per-view. And this was a great match. The Hybrid 2 the tag team matches have been hit and miss. I know Angelico and Jack Evans are really, really good. But they haven't really been shown as to being that good in AEW, just from who they've had to go up against, and just timing, really. But, of course, they're going up against the Young Bucks, it's the Young Bucks. They are two of the best. I will never say one team is the greatest tag team of all time, or the greatest tag team of our generation, because there are so many good tag teams out there now, even if they're underutilized in WWE or not, or anywhere else. If you went top 5, they would definitely be in the top 5. I'm not going to give you the other 4, but they're definitely in the top 5. So, Angelico and Jack Evans, they held their own. They came out there, and you had a hell of a match. Now, the Acclaimed were at ringside, and I thought we were going to have them get involved with this match. The Young Bucks were going to toss, they tasked, I believe it was Jack Evans, into them, and then that was going to prompt the Acclaim to come out, jump over the rails, and cause a no contest, or would have distracted the Young Bucks, allowing Jack Evans and Angelico to get the win. That did not happen. But it's one of those things that say, you're wrong, you're wrong. So Matt, I think it was Matt. Matt goes for something late in the match and tweaks his knee. So, Angelico does his deathlock on his leg, trying to get him to tap out. That doesn't go completely as planned as Nick breaks it up, I'm sorry. They hit a indie taker to the outside and takes out Jack Evans. Angelico is left on his own. Nick and Matt hit the spike power drive on Evans to the floor. Angelico takes a kick by Nick. Double kick, BT trigger, 1, 2, 3, and the Young Bucks win. So, it was a hell of a match. If you definitely want to check out one match from this show, it's the Young Bucks versus the TH2. Plain and simple. Now, I would love to say that the main event was one of the better matches of the night, but of course, the ending of that match was just fucking bullshit, and we'll talk about that later. The Acclaimed, who were pissed off that the Young Bucks tossed Jack Evans, I believe it was, into them, go to jump the rail and get into the ring, but SCU was already on the case. Like, they were waiting for the Acclaim to do something, and they come in there, they chase them off before anything can happen. Backstage, MBF MJS says his finger is bare and he can't stand it. He's going to hurt Orange Cassidy and break A lot of smart marks hurt tonight when he beats the living hell out of him, and they will meet for the Diamond Ring in your main event. We see Darby Allin getting a Rorschach test. And they're showing off pictures, and he's looking, one reminds him of Ricky Starks, one reminds him of Will Hobbs, one reminds him of Brian Cage, and then they show him a picture of Sting's face, and he just laughs as we end that. Cody heads to the ring to go to talk. And we go to commercial break. We come back, and he is joined by, of course, Arn Anderson and Tony Schiavone. So that is what we have going on here. Tony Schiavone asks him, "Hey, can we get your thoughts on what happened last week with Sting coming to AEW?" So before he can even say anything, lights go down. Sting's music plays. And we are going to hear from Sting because I cannot do it any justice whatsoever.
Sorry. I just had to get a little closer to make sure this was real. Now, I see you've got an agenda, and I know you do. So, for now, I'm just going to see my way out of here.
Respectable of Arn.
Well, who am I to stand here? Here you go, buddy. Wait, Tony, are you kidding me? Come on, bring it in. Give me a hug. I mean, how many years has it been, Tony? So many. That's right. Tony, you know something? I got to give you some kudos for helping me out in my career. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've actually thought about you saying, "It's Sting!" Wrestling fans approach me and say, "We loved it when Schiavone said that, so would you mind just entertaining everybody and giving me one of those right now?" Just one, it's Sting, right?
You don't ask for it once.
Yep. It's Sting!
There's a little fanboy and all of it. Yeah.
This is awesome! This is awesome!
Welcome back. I should start by asking you, well, rather thanking you for the assist last week. But I think it'd be more apropos if I just got to the point. I have been waiting to share a ring with you for a very, very long time.
Cody, I'm not here for you. At least not right now. I mean, there's something that makes me feel at home in this place. I mean, there's something really familiar about it. I mean, something really, really familiar about this place.
And of course, he's pointing to Darby Allin, who's sitting with the TNT Championship, watching from where Sting would probably be watching if he was Darby Allin back in 1999, 1998, 97, back when he started doing the Crow gimmick.
I mean, as I look at ringside here, I see that the animals are the same, but different in a lot of ways. The bottom line is, I'm in the jungle. This is the jungle. And the Stinger has come full circle. The Stinger is in the jungle and on TNT once again.
I said, sir, welcome back.
I think Sting takes offense to that.
Cody, I know that you know every single thing that goes on around this place. But you know me too, and you know what I say. The only thing for sure about Sting is nothing's for sure. Except this. I am signed officially with AEW. And I plan on being close to the AEW wrestling fans and in this promotion for a long time. I plan on spending a lot of time right here. But the way I choose to play, Cody, is my business.
Pats him on the back, brings him in.
See you around, kid.
That right there just had to be like Cody had to be just dying, like just the young kid in Cody had to just be jumping up and down inside, just having that moment with Sting. Because outside of his dad, Sting was his favorite wrestler. That's why he said he's been waiting a long, long time to share the ring with Sting. So, still no idea. Sting says, of course, nothing about Sting is for sure, except for, of course, that he's signed with AEW. So we'll have to see what happens there. We move on to FTR versus the Varsity Blondes, and if you like this match on paper, to me, would feel like it would be a good match. This match lasts about 2, maybe 3 minutes, and FTR wins with the Goodnight Express. Nothing special there. Jurassic Express ringside lock eyes with FTR. Wheeler gives Jungle Boy a shove, then backs away. Stunt runs to fight, but gets held back. So that looks where they're going next. So then we have backstage Hangman Page being asked about a 6-man tag team match he's going to have next week against Hardy Party after what happened in the Battle Royal. But Alex Marvez is like, you don't have any tag team partners right now. He's starting to say something, and then John Reynolds and Alex Reynolds and John Silver show up with cowboy hats on from behind the bar. And he's like, how long have you guys been there? About 7 minutes. And he eventually is like, fine, you know what? This is a one-time thing. I'm not joining Dark Order. I'm not doing that hand gesture. This is one and done. So, it's coming to, like, either Hangman Page is joining the Dark Order eventually, or this is going to lead to Brody Lee versus Hangman Page. So, then we go to 10 versus Dustin Rhodes, speaking of the Dark Order. And at this time, I'm like thinking, this is not a bad show. It's not going to be, nothing they do this week was going to bring us to what we saw last week with how good that show was, how well put together. It was like a pay-per-view show. Tony on the call a day or two before that said he was going to book it like a pay-per-view show, and that's what they did, and it was just great. Sting, it was fine. It was fine. I didn't like the finish, but it was fine, and you should have saw it coming with the whole gentleman's agreement crap. So, Dustin Rhodes takes on Preston Vance, a.k.a. 10. Lasts about 3 minutes, maybe less, and Dustin Rhodes wins with a running bulldog. Wow. Post-match, Evil Uno comes in. He's like, Dustin, listen. We know that your legacy is set. And your future, but your name comes with pressure, and here in AEW, he is the third most important Rhodes, which is so bad. He asked if Dustin will be 7 of the Dark Order, which is a nod to a gimmick, a short-lived gimmick in Dustin Rhodes' career in WCW. When he made his return, he was supposed to be this stalker, like child stalker 7 with white face paint, all black suit, black hat, like it was not good. What do you say, 7? Uno says Dustin puts his hand, he's got his hand like in the grip only backwards and then just waffles him in the face. Una says, tells him to stay back. He says, as soon as you see what I see and you think how I think, you'll be coming. You'll see. And then the show just goes down from there. We have Shaq back in a pre-taped recording, and I'm not even gonna play it because I don't want to. I think it's a waste of time having Brandy there with her arm in a sling because Jade Cargill destroyed her arm a couple weeks ago. Long story short, Shaq gets water thrown in his face because Brandy is a bitch. Calls out an overgrown asshole, walks out, and I don't care. AEW is doing this because what's coming up on the 22nd? The NBA is coming back. The NBA will be making its season debut, and Shaq is a prominent member of Inside the NBA. So, what better way to have somebody who's on TNT, not doing a wrestling show, talking about AEW wrestling? Who is a wrestling fan, mind you? So, yeah. That's where they're going with this. I really do not care. So the Inner Circle make their way out here for the ultimatum. Would they stay together as a team? Would they break up? We have every member of the Inner Circle except for Santana. I don't know. I have a feeling that Santana was in contact with someone with COVID, or had it himself, or is just taking precautions. Of course, AEW, I don't know when they started doing this, but AEW every week is not live. AEW last week for Winter is Coming was live. This week was taped on Thursday. So that's why Lance Archer and the Lucha Bros versus Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade happened later in the show instead of this Death Triangle versus Eddie Kingston, the Butcher and the Blade. Because Pac wasn't there last week. Maybe he's back home in the UK. I don't know. But yeah, Santana, if he wasn't there on Wednesday, he was not going to be there on Thursday. So here is the ultimatum. I hope they have the whole thing on here.
This night here for the Inner Circle. This could be the last time you ever see us together in an AEW ring. And the reason for that is this. Last week on Dynamite, I said we have 7 days to decide if we're going to continue to build the Inner Circle into the most powerful faction in pro wrestling history, or we disband forever. Because the shit that's been going on is not what I meant, not what I intended when I put together this group. It's not what I wanted when I brought in MJF and brought in Wardlow. And last week when we were in the ring, pushing and shoving like a bunch of little petulant punks, was embarrassing, and it was sickening, and it will never happen again. We are not on the same page. Sammy doesn't like MJF, and Wardlow doesn't like Hager, and Ortiz is sick and disgusted of all of us, and Santana's so pissed off, he didn't even show up to work this week. So now we decide, do we move forward as a unit, as a team, or do we end it all tonight? If you got grievances, air them.
Christopher,
Here's the chance.
do you mind if I take the room real quick? Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Before I continue speaking, I just want you guys to understand, I love each and every single one of you like brothers. Ortiz, you're my essay, bro. I love you all, man. I love you all. But I'm starting to understand what's going on here. I feel like maybe I might be the issue here. I'll just say it. I'll just say it outright. And I think I know why. I'm no idiot. I see what people are writing on social media. People think I want to break up this group. People think I might want to take over this group. And you guys, maybe you're starting to believe that hype. But I want to make something perfectly clear. I chose to join this group. I wanted to join this group because I wanted to be a part of the greatest faction in all professional wrestling. And moreover, I wanted to create bonds that would never be broken. A band of brothers
And that's why it killed me last week, Sammy, because I love you dearly. The fact that you would betray...
Oh, shut up, man. Screw you. Shut your damn mouth. Shut up. No. You know exactly what you're doing. Shut your damn mouth. I'm so sick of this. You're going to throw the towel. Screw this guy. Screw this guy, Chris.
Hold on, Max. I thought we discussed this months ago. We all watched Dynamite. We saw what you did. You came down, you took the towel from Wardlow, you held it up in your hand. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Now hold on. Hold on. Christopher, classic misunderstanding. Swear in my life, I had sweat on my brow, okay? And Time out.
You know, Santana made me realize something. You two are assets. You're great. You're great talents. Definitely beneficial to the group. As human beings, that's debatable. Warlow, you're great. Never change. Max, you're growing on me like a fungus, but you're growing on me. Sammy, shake his hand. Sammy.
Hold on. First off. The fact that Ortiz is the voice of reason in this entire thing is something I don't think I would have seen last week. This is the guy who goes out there and has some of the goofiest, bumps, does the whole Tiger style thing, doesn't seem like the guy who would sit there and be the voice of reason on anything. But the fact that this guy right here just squashed everything was one of the best parts of the show.
Sammy, I get it. Chris chose him. We didn't choose him. But guess what? In life, you don't get to choose the hand that you're dealt. And like it or not, together, we're the winning hand. Sammy, be the better man. You're better than him, and you know it. Shake his hand.
I just love that dig at MJF he did.
All right. I'll shake his hand. Chris, I trust you with everything. You brought me in AEW. You put me in the inner circle. I'll shake his hand. But if one more thing, and I mean one more thing, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you.
Ooh, and Jericho.
I will quit the inner circle if anything else happens here.
Shake his hand.
I'm serious.
They shake hands.
Listen, this is huge, man. I appreciate you standing up for yourself. I appreciate what Ortiz said. I would think at this point in time, it seems like we're on the same page, correct? It seems like everything is cool, right?
I got a question. Why does this guy keep staring at me?
What? Staring at you? You've been staring at me since I started in this company. And quite frankly, it's creeping me out.
You're creeping me out. You
You're a
never
weirdo,
stop
man.
staring at me.
You don't keep your eyes
You
on me.
take your eyes off me right now.
Hold on. I got an idea. How about we agree to stop staring at each other?
I could stop staring right now if I wanted to.
Okay. Good.
So can I.
Okay. It seems like we're all agreeing here that the inner circle needs to continue and needs to grow and build and dominate AEW like you all know that we can, right? Yeah, exactly. So we're all on the same page. This is great. So I think it's time to agree to the future. And it's going to be really bright for the inner circle. Correct?
Speaking of the future, we got a great main event here tonight. I'm going to beat the ever-loving crap out of Orange Cassidy for beating my friend Chris Jericho twice, which is hard to do. Trust me, I would know. And then...
Max, You're ruining it. Okay. So if we're all agreeing to continue together, put it in. Come on.
Still looking at each other. They all hit him, they all give the bird, and that's the end of the segment. So, that's about the end of the positives of the show, pretty much. Everything else on here, just, negative. Eddie Kingston, the Blade, and the Butch and the Blade, with the Bunny, takes on Lance Archer, Ray Phoenix, and Penta LZRM. The one spot of this match was at the beginning when Archer comes out, he runs and does a big diving crossbody over the top rope on everybody else. About 2 minutes in this match, Butcher takes Pentagon to the timekeeper's area and just power bombs him through it. So, all I can think is, Pentagon is injured. They needed an excuse because they already booked this match last week. They taped it, of course, on Thursday. They had to get out of this match the best way they could. So, Pentagon had to be taken out of the match. And Pentagon was sent to the back. And it was a 2-on-3 handicap match from then on out. Even though you can say that Lance Archer could be for 2 people. Phoenix and Archer did the best they could. There wasn't anything else that you could say. They did everything they could. Double powerbomb neckbreaker combination gets the win. Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade end up getting the pinfall. Archer gets into the ring and drops all 3 guys. He looks for the chokeslam on Kingston. Blade hits him in the back. Eats a huge punch and an overhead release suplex. Archer crushes Blade in the corner. Then goes for the blackout, but Butcher saves him. And that was that. Like, it looked like on paper that was going to be one hell of a match. Then Pentagon got taken out. It was a 3-on-2 handicap match. And it just... Abaddon versus Tesha Price. This was a squash match. Not much else I can say. Abaddon wins in about a minute and a half. After the match, she's beating up on Tesha Price. Hikaru Shida comes out with a kendo stick. Takes forever to get in the ring. And she just looks scared. She does throw it. She does, and this, I don't know who to blame for this. But she swings with the kendo stick. Whiffs on Abaddon. Abaddon falls as if she got hit with the kendo stick. She helps Tesha Price up. Abaddon sits out like the Undertaker and scares them 2 off. I'm not a big fan of seeing your world champion for the women look like a scared person. I just don't. I'm not a fan of it. It didn't come off as a good look for Shida. Shida's title reign, and it sucks for her because she's there. A lot of people's complaint about Riho's title reign was that she was never there. She was in Japan for the majority of her title reign because that's just how it goes. She lived in Japan, whereas Hikaru Shida lives in the United States. She lives in Jacksonville. So why are they not using her more? I just don't understand it. She is the AEW Women's Champion, and it's like half the time it feels like she is an afterthought. But here she is, and they're making her look scared as can be. So we go back into the back, and Dasha talks to Jericho, and she asks about the group being on the same page. Jericho says they are indeed on the same page. Then says the group will join MJF and Warlord ringside to make sure he beats Orange Cassidy and gets the Diamond Ring. In this, I was thinking, oh, there we go. This is going to set it up where MJF loses the ring, and it's not his fault. But, oh boy, we'll talk about that later. Next comes just a big dud. I don't know what the AEW's thinking, but this was just a waste of time. If anybody remembers, last night on the show, on Impact Wrestling, in a bus, Kenny Omega and Don Callis were interviewed by Josh Matthews, which, by the way, he's still an awful, awful, awful person when it comes to commentary. So we have Kenny Omega showing up in a helicopter. Somehow Don Callis just appears in this helicopter. I'm watching the video back right here again. Don Callis is nowhere to be seen. And then we cut from the camera we cut back and Don Callis shows up as if he's coming out of the... This made no sense. This made absolutely no sense. There's no way he could fit. But that promo last night was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. But here is basically, if you missed last night's video, last night's episode of Impact and what they'd said, well, here's a refresher because what they said tonight was the exact same thing.
First of all, what about the gentleman's agreement you talked about? What happened there? What's your relationship with this man? Let me say this. I've been in the wrestling business since 1983. I've never been more disgusted in my life about what happened last week here on Dynamite.
Wait. Tony, everyone. Tony, you're upset? Oh my God. Tony's upset. Well, Tony, you're just like everybody else. Because the fans are also upset, Kenny. Tony Khan is upset. I don't know why, Tony. I don't know why you're upset. You invited me here. You took me into your house and treated me like an honored guest, and you feel like you got screwed. Well, Tony, you're welcome for your first lesson. Welcome to the wrestling business, kid. Hey, no, Kenny. They're saying it's the biggest screw job since Montreal. But I was there that night, Kenny, and I'll tell you, winter is coming. The stakes were much higher with the AEW World Championship on the line.
I very highly doubt that, Don. I highly doubt that.
And you know, Kenny, I heard that, speaking of winter, that hell froze over last night because you were on Impact Wrestling on Access TV with that belt. All the paradigms are being broken, and people want to know, how do we cook this up? Must have taken weeks of planning, right, Kenny? Not weeks, not months, years. I've known this man since he was 10 years old, and I watched him as he became a world-class athlete. I watched him as he became the best wrestler in the world. I was there like an invisible hand, watching and protecting. And 3 years ago, Kenny, you and I changed the course of pro wrestling. Jericho, Omega, the Tokyo Dome, the match that Tony Khan himself said, without that match, there's no AEW. So you might say that Kenny and Don created AEW. We gave birth to it, and when Jim Ross says that we were thieves and we stole this, I will remind all of you, you cannot steal what you create. I will also remind you, you wanted the best belt machine. You wanted 7-star Kenny Omega. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, your AEW World Champion, Kenny, my God, Omega.
We always hear preach a family-friendly environment, Mr. Callis. And you didn't see me at AEW's birth crawling up to Tony Khan with my hands out. Oh, please, get my friends and family involved in this company. Please give them a payday. I never did that, no. I waited. I bided my time. We waited for over a year while we plotted and planned. And oh, nepotism. Isn't it a wonderful thing? And I believe more than anybody else in this company, we've pulled it off the most successfully. You know, you talk about accolades, you talk about stars, awards, trophies, you talk about plaques, banners, buttons. All of them pale in comparison to what I'm holding right now. You see, that's the most prestigious prize in all of pro wrestling. And what we pulled off last week, Mr. Callis, aside from it being a 7-star classic professional wrestling match,
no,
it was a performance. I could say it was considered more like fine art. It was inspirational. And each and every one of you people sitting at home watching it unfold fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And whether you fell for it or not, I could care less. Whether Tony fell for it or not, I could care less. Jerry Lynn, I don't care. But the problem was that we needed you to buy into it, John. Yes, you have it all in the ring. Hold this, Don. You have it all in the ring. Look what you did to me. Look what you did to me. That's real damage. That's what you did, John. Yeah, you're the real deal. But you don't got it up here. And that's where this man comes in. And that's why you fell for it. Yeah, I used a microphone. But no one kicks out of the one-winged angel. No one kicks out of the one-winged angel, John. And you
Except for Kota Ibushi that one time, but we're not going to talk about that, are we, Kenny?
You thought last week was a big surprise. You thought Tuesday was a big surprise. Oh, we're just getting started. There's so much more coming.
They can't handle it, Kenny. They can't handle it. Just remember one thing. Some people make matches. Other people make money. Kenny Omega makes history. So, Kenny, why don't we give them what they've been waiting over a year for? Can you do the thing? You want to do the thing? Please do the thing. Do it for me.
Okay, are you guys ready? Oh, I'm a little nervous, Mr. Callis. Okay, without any further ado, I must bid you adieu. So say with me now if you know it. Goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang.
Yeah, that was shit. This is I don't understand what either show benefits from this. What they did on Impact last night was shit. What they did tonight for this was shit. I don't know who even thought this was a good fucking idea. I'm fine with Kenny being a heel. I'm fine with Kenny being the AEW World Champion. I expected it between now and whenever. But this was not it. Whatever plan they had for Impact Wrestling AEW crossover, failure. Kenny Omega, right now, failure as a champion. It's not working whatsoever. And this was all they had. Don Callis repeating the same shit over and over. Now, granted, like I said, this stuff was taped on Thursday. This whole entire thing was taped on Thursday. The Impact stuff you saw last night, if you watched, was taped on Saturday or Sunday. Did anybody cross anybody's mind to have Don Callis, Kenny Omega say something different on Tuesday so when we come to Wednesday, you don't have people scratching their head going, didn't we hear this last night? This was an absolute dumpster fire of a segment. It really dragged the episode down. Absolutely. Absolutely, this was terrible. So, next week, hopefully it will be a rebound. As Cody with Arn Anderson will take on Angelico. That should be a good match. Hangman Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds versus Matt Hardy and Private Party. We have The Acclaim versus SCU. Senorita Deep and Big Swole take on Ivelisse and Diamante. This is coming from Red Velvet was getting beat up by Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose backstage. Big Swole and Serena Deep come in to try and help. And Ivelisse and Diamante come from behind. And everybody's having a little squabble backstage. So, we get a holiday lineup. There will be AEW Wrestling on the 23rd of December, Holiday Bash, 10 p.m. or immediately following the NBA opening week, because that is day 2 of opening week. December 30th, they will have the New Year's Smash Night 1, Chris Jericho on commentary, and New Year's Smash Night 2 on January 6th with special guest Snoop Dogg. And it's kind of funny because Snoop Dogg apparently just opened a line of clothing with The Undertaker in WWE and also remixed Sasha Banks' theme music a couple months ago, about a year ago almost. So, what you want to bet on Friday? Sasha Banks is using her old theme music or a different theme music because Vince McMahon is losing his mind. Just the way WWE is going to do something. Or WWE will go to Snoop and be like, Snoop, you can't work with them. You're doing all this stuff. You can't go work with them. So it's either Snoop Dogg's going to be appearing on New Year's Bash Night 2, Smash, not Bash, Bash, Night 2, and WWE does a lot of shit that they get rid of. They erase him from their history, or he backs out of AEW. MJF with the Inner Circle versus Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends. Winner receives the Diamond Ring. So, early on, it's MJF, the Inner Circle versus Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends. And it's a disadvantage. There's nothing that an Orange Cassidy can do. He's just getting dominated by these guys. He does try and fight back. We go to commercial break. We come back. And Top Flight, the Varsity Blondes, and Brandon Cutler all come out. So, it's pretty much an impromptu lumberjack match. You know how much I hate fucking lumberjack matches. They're fucking dumb. And what you expect will happen in the end with the big brawl on the floor. Referee stops his count, goes to stop the brawl. Miro runs out, clocks Cassidy with a big lariat. They put their hands in their pocket, mocking Cassidy. MJF is able to just crawl over, drape an arm over, 1, 2, 3, and beat Orange Cassidy in one of the dumbest fucking finishes I think I've seen in AEW this year. After the match, best friends go after Miro, but security and referee separate them. Miro then starts beating up security. He throws one guy off the stage, takes all of them out. MJF tells the camera he won. He beat him clean on the mat. Miro yells at the stage as the show closes, and AEW goes off with one of the biggest duds of the year. This could have been such a better show, but like all the good they had gets heavily outweighed by all the bad. Like, the whole Brandy thing, she needs to be taken off TV ASAP. She's trash. She can be somebody out who goes out there and talks and, like, is a brand officer and whatever they're supposed to do. But on TV, she's trash. The whole Shaq thing should have never happened. It was trash. The Kenny Omega, Don Callis thing was a carbon copy of what they pretty much said last night. Again, trash. Miro and the whole brawl with the talent down below was absolute trash. You have good things on this show, but then you have the terrible shit on this show that just swipes away all the good stuff. Next week, hopefully, will be a much better show, but this week, again, was, I think, the worst episode I've seen in a good while. Since probably last year when the Dark Order had that beatdown of the Elite, and on the final episode of the show last year, which everyone panned, and things started to get better the year after, like the beginning of this year. Hopefully, things will get better next week, because this was absolutely just, no. This wasn't it, man. This was not good. Well, that is your AEW on TNT review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Parallel at the France Club, because fuck Twitter. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club, and find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I'll see you guys on Friday for the first episode of the Thunderdome on SmackDown inside the Tropicana field. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.